LEGO has released some of the most sought after and exclusive Star Wars themed items as a part of their annual May the 4th, aka Star Wars Day promotions, in the form of free gifts with purchase. From unique collectibles like this Return of the Jedi coin to household items and even never to be released again minifigures. Today we are counting down the 8 greatest free gifts ever released for the May the 4th promotions over the years. Mandalorian had to work for and risk his life at the hands of the Empire for a piece of Beskar, but in 2022 you could have gotten your very own piece with any LEGO Star Wars purchase of $70 between May 1st through 5th. In case you're unfamiliar, Beskar in the Star Wars universe is a highly valuable and nearly indestructible material that plays a major role in the adventures of the Mandalorian and Grogu. I typically prefer to get actual minifigures or buildable sets when LEGO decides to do a promotion, but this Beskar keychain is actually really an incredible piece whether you are a LEGO or even just a Star Wars focused collector. I have one personally and was skeptical when they were first released, but it is one of the coolest non-brick built collectibles we have seen in any promotion in my opinion. The keychain is made of metal, feels solid, and has a heft to it that gives the illusion that you're actually in possession of the rare and valuable metal from Mandalore. There is this nice detail of these lines that connect as you turn the keychain. It also has the Imperial insignia molded into it just like the show. It is a sleek, simple, and impressive replica. Honestly, if not for the packaging and the backside, which has some LEGO Star Wars and VIP branding that I actually enjoy, especially now that the VIP program is defunct, I wouldn't even realize this was from LEGO. It really is just a unique and exclusive Star Wars collectible. And if this is something that you like, they actually aren't too expensive on the secondary market, so you can go ahead and pick yourself up one if you'd like to. Counting down to number 7, we have the 2023 Star Wars Day exclusive Death Star 2. The Death Star constantly gets love from fans and new media alike, while the Death Star 2 sits behind as the poor abandoned afterthought. But in 2023, for the first time in almost 20 years, LEGO released another Death Star 2 set to commemorate the 40th anniversary of Episode 6 Return of the Jedi. Albeit at a much smaller scale than the original 2005 release, still, this set was free with any purchase of $150 or more, and it included a printed brick to symbolize the occasion. It may not be the play scale sized replica many fans had been hoping for, similar to the 2016 Death Star release, but it is still a great piece to have on display for a part of the original trilogy that doesn't see the same merchandising and collectibles compared to so many of the other popular parts. At number 6, we have our very first exclusive minifigure on the list with Admiral Yularen. This figure was released as a gift with purchase that fit alongside the original Star Wars Rebel sets being released at the time based on the animated show. Now I understand that at first glance this may not strike as the most exciting character in the Star Wars franchise, but the Admiral, whose official name is Wolf Yularen, has officially made appearances in a surprising amount of Star Wars media. Yularen is a key character in the Rebels animated series, but you may not have realized that his first appearance is actually in the very first Star Wars movie, A New Hope, all the way back in 1977. Since then, he has been seen in the Andor series on Disney+, and let's not forget that his younger self is the same Admiral Yularen from the Clone Wars movie and series, the iconic voice of the Clone Wars narrator that so many of us grew up hearing. This guy is not your everyday Imperial officer. Yularen was actually released again in 2023 as a minifigure, but that figure is exclusive to the modestly priced $650 UCC Venator, and that figure was modeled after his appearance during the Clone Wars, which features a younger face with brown hair and a dark gray uniform. So as of now, the only way to get the Empire's most eligible and timeless Silver Fox is with the original 2015 Star Wars Day polybag. Moving in at number 5, we have the Lars Family Homestead. This set was originally released in 2022 as a free gift for Star Wars purchases of $160 or more. It is the only set to feature Aunt Beru to date, and maybe the only toy ever focused on a Star Wars kitchen counter. Now I know this set has its detractors, but please hear me out. There's a high chance we'll never see another Aunt Beru minifigure for a long time, if ever. The more memorable husband of Beru, Uncle Owen, was only released twice, with the last time being over a decade ago. And while jokes can be made about the setting in Luke's kitchen, this set does offer a nice alternative for dioramas and world building. After all, not every scene can take place in a battlefield or galactic hallway. You tell me where else Padme is going to get that blue milk from. Next, we have the Trade Federation Troop Carrier as a part of Star Wars Day in 2024. This gift with purchase has an incredible 8 minifigures that will serve as extremely valuable for anyone looking to build a droid army. 2 of those minifigures included are exclusive to the set in the droid pilots. LEGO has released droid pilots in the past, but these contain that small marking on the chest to better resemble their prequel trilogy counterparts. Moving on to the build is an over 200 piece droid transport vehicle that not only looks good in a battlefield diorama, but also has extensive playability. The droids can fold and be placed in rows for transport just like in the movie, and they can quickly deploy by sliding their attached section away from the piloted front. Their guns are neatly stored next to them for retrieval when the battle commences, and if that wasn't enough, this exclusive also includes a 25 years of LEGO Star Wars commemorative piece featuring none other than R2-D2. For being purely a promotional set, this is a fantastic bonus to have if you are making purchases for Star Wars Day 2024. While all these freebies are relatively rare, the Shadow ARF Trooper is exceedingly so. This was the first ever May the 4th promotional minifigure, and while LEGO has released multiple ARF Troopers over the years, this is the only Shadow variation released to date. Released in 2011 as a part of the Clone Wars animated theme, it has that subtle, simplistic, and stylized printing compared to more modern clone minifigures. It is a nostalgic appearance that has aged better for some figures than others, but for the Shadow ARF Trooper and other clone troopers alike, it is timeless. This trooper, along with its LEGO blaster, go for a hefty price tag on the secondary market. Might not be the best to army build. But if you do want to army build, then follow in the footsteps of the Emperor and get yourself a Camino training facility. At number 2, we have the most recent Star Wars Day gift released in 2025. I recently got a chance to build this set and it is incredible. It includes 3 clone cadets in their red training fatigues, along with 3 different variations of blasters based on the movie and a weapon rack to store them all on. In addition, you receive the KE-8 Enforcer floating patrol vehicle that has an opening cockpit to store 1 clone figure. This set really reminds me, this vehicle, I should say, really reminds me of the Slave One, which is the feature Star Wars set that was released during this Star Wars Day celebration, just by the fact that you got these rotating thrusters, I guess you could call them here, and the fact that it looks like it would land this way, but I think you're really supposed to fold this section here in order to let it land. It can be seen at brief moments in Attack the Clones, but it's very easy to miss, and it's outfitted with an electroshock stun device that served to monitor and keep clone cadets in line, but it was also used along with special sensors as a way to identify clones best fit for specialized commando and clone commander training. And finally, there is a blaster tower with a rotating top to simulate their combat training. The whole set is unique and fun. Just the exclusive clone cadets alone are enough for me, and these clone cadets can really be whichever clone you want them to be. This guy is actually a Shadow ARF Trooper. For someone who is a big Attack of the Clones and Clone Trooper fan like myself, it really does feel like a must-have set. And here he is, number 1. After more than a decade, LEGO has yet to release another Darth Revan in any shape or form. Originally introduced to the Star Wars franchise in 2003 with the Knights of the Old Republic video game, Darth Revan has gained something of a cult following among Star Wars fans. Rumors have circulated over the years of new movies or shows with the character, and there have even been new Darth Revan action figures from Hasbro in the meantime, but LEGO has yet to see a reason to release another of the Star Wars video game icon. The recent releases of other game characters like Cal Kestis and Darth Malak may be a sign for hope, but it also makes this figure currently that much more important to a collection. Young and ignorant, in 2014 I actually passed on this promotion, but a few years later I found one at a local resale store for about $40 if I remember correctly. At the time I saw that as a bit expensive. Let me know if anyone watching this video has either Darth Revan or the Shadow ARF Trooper. I have a decent sized LEGO Star Wars collection and still don't have either one of those guys. Also, let me know if you think there's something that should have been on the list that isn't. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. This is the Brick Channel.